It was the moment no one saw coming. After years of keeping a low profile and stepping away from the cameras, Meri Brown's only child, Leon, suddenly reappeared on Sister Wives, leaving fans in complete shock. The rare cameo has sparked an emotional wave across social media, with viewers stunned by how much has changed since Leon last appeared on the show. But why now, and what does this mean for the Brown family's future? For years, fans of TLC's long-running reality series Sister Wives have followed the complicated lives of Kody Brown and his wives with fascination and disbelief. The polygamous family has seen its share of drama, heartbreak, and public scrutiny, and yet one figure has remained almost entirely out of the spotlight: Leon Brown, the only child of Meri Brown. While the other Brown children have appeared frequently in episodes, given interviews, or maintained an active presence on social media, Leon has taken a markedly different path, choosing privacy and distance from the relentless attention that comes with reality television fame. This decision made perfect sense to many, given the turbulent dynamics of the Brown household, but it also left fans with lingering questions about Leon's life, identity, and relationship with their family. Now, after years away from the cameras, Leon's rare and unexpected appearance on Sister Wives has reignited public curiosity and sparked widespread conversation online. The moment came quietly, without the typical fanfare that usually accompanies major Brown family updates. In an episode that seemed destined to focus on Kody's ongoing marital struggles and Robyn's increasingly isolated position as the so-called favorite wife, viewers were caught off guard when the cameras shifted briefly to Meri and her only child. Leon's presence was unmistakable, and longtime followers of the show instantly recognized them despite the years that had passed since their last appearance. For Meri, this was an emotional moment, not only because she has frequently spoken about the challenges of being a mother in such a fractured family system, but also because Leon has often been a silent witness to the tumultuous events surrounding the Brown clan. As social media lit up with reactions, many fans admitted they had not expected to see Leon return to the screen. Their decision to step away from the spotlight had been firm, and in interviews, Meri had hinted that her child preferred privacy. Yet this rare appearance, however brief, was enough to send shockwaves through the Sister Wives fanbase. Theories began circulating almost immediately. Was Leon's return meant as a symbolic show of support for Meri as she navigates her life away from Kody? Was it simply a fleeting cameo, or could it signal a deeper willingness to reconnect with the narrative that has long defined their family in the public eye? To understand the weight of this appearance, one has to revisit Leon's history on the show. From the earliest seasons, Leon stood out as Meri's only child in a family where children seemed to overflow in every household. Janelle, Christine, and Robyn each had several children, and their relationships with Kody often appeared to revolve heavily around parenting. For Meri, however, the struggle to have more children was one of the most painful storylines in Sister Wives. She longed for a larger family, but faced fertility challenges that ultimately left her with just one child. This became a defining theme not only in her marriage to Kody, but also in her personal identity within the plural household. The weight of being the only child cannot be understated. While other Brown children often blended into sibling groups, Leon carried the singular focus of Meri's maternal hopes and disappointments. At times, viewers could sense the pressure placed on their shoulders, even as they tried to carve out a life of their own. As the years went on, Leon became increasingly independent and began to step back from the spotlight, choosing instead to live life on their own terms. Leon's choice to live more privately was also shaped by their journey of self-discovery. In recent years, they came out publicly, sharing their identity and truth with courage and honesty. This was met with overwhelming support from fans, though it also sparked controversy within some corners of the Brown family's conservative audience. Still, Leon's decision underscored their independence from the brand of reality television. They were no longer simply Meri's only child, but an individual with a voice and a story that extended far beyond the narrative crafted by TLC. Given this context, their sudden reappearance on Sister Wives carries immense significance. It suggests that Leon may be reevaluating their relationship with the show and with the public perception of their family. It could also reflect a desire to support Meri during a time when she has distanced herself from Kody and seems determined to build a new chapter of her life. In interviews outside of the show, Meri has often spoken with pride about her child, emphasizing that she supports them unconditionally. For viewers who have watched her struggle for years with loneliness and isolation in her marriage, seeing her reunited with Leon on screen was nothing short of a powerful emotional moment. The fan reaction has been nothing less than explosive. Within hours of the episode airing, social media platforms from Twitter to Reddit were flooded with comments celebrating Leon's appearance. Many expressed joy at seeing them back on screen, praising their authenticity and noting how grown up and confident they appeared. Others speculated about the symbolism of the moment, suggesting that it could be a subtle sign of Meri moving forward independently, leaning on her child for support rather than remaining tethered to Cody's fractured household. This rare sighting has also reignited debates about the future of sister wives. The show has increasingly focused on the disintegration of Cody's marriages, with Christine, Janelle, and now Meri stepping away from him, leaving Robin as the last remaining partner. While that storyline has provided endless drama, fans have often wondered how the next generation of Browns would fit into the narrative. Many of Cody's adult children have openly criticized him and expressed frustration with how they were raised, which has cast a shadow over the family's once idealized image of plural harmony. Leon's reemergence could represent a potential new chapter, one in which the children's voices and perspectives take center stage. What makes this moment even more remarkable is the fact that Leon had every reason to remain absent from the cameras. Their decision to live privately, away from the manufactured drama of reality TV, was widely respected. Yet their willingness to step back into the frame, however brief, speaks volumes about the bond they share with Meri, and perhaps a recognition that their story still holds value in the broader conversation about the Brown family. For fans who have followed this saga for over a decade, it was a reminder that behind all the chaos, there are real people, real relationships, and real struggles that cannot always be neatly scripted or edited for television. The significance of this rare appearance also lies in what it symbolizes for Meri herself. She has long been portrayed as the most isolated of Cody's wives, frequently marginalized and often treated as an outsider within her own marriage. Her emotional struggles, particularly surrounding her relationship with Cody, have been a recurring theme that has both endeared her to viewers and sparked frustration. Yet through it all, her relationship with Leon has remained a constant source of strength. By appearing on screen together, mother and child presented a united front, one that subtly challenged the narrative of Meri's loneliness. It was a visual representation of resilience, of family ties that endure even when marriages crumble and plural households fall apart. As speculation swirls about what this means for the future, one thing is clear. Leon's brief return has breathed new life into the Sister Wives phenomenon. Fans are once again engaged, invested, and eager to see whether this appearance was a one-time event or the beginning of a larger arc. Could Leon become a recurring presence, offering their perspective on the Brown family saga, or was this simply a moment of support for Meri captured by cameras? Only time will tell. But for now, the impact of their presence is undeniable.
The Brown family of TLC's long-running reality series, Sister Wives, has provided viewers with more than a decade of drama, heartbreak, and raw glimpses into the complexities of plural marriage. Through years of cameras capturing the highs and lows of polygamy, the public has come to know many members of the sprawling family intimately. Yet one figure has stood apart, both for their unique position in the family and their decision to step away from the spotlight: Leon Brown, the only child of Meri Brown. After years of absence in a self-imposed retreat from reality television, Leon has stunned longtime fans by making a surprise appearance on Sister Wives, a moment that has been described by viewers as long-awaited, emotional, and deeply symbolic. For many fans, the return of Leon was nothing short of astonishing. In the early years of the show, they were a familiar presence, seen navigating childhood and adolescence within the unconventional Brown household. But as time passed and Leon grew into adulthood, they gradually receded from the public eye, choosing to live privately rather than remain entangled in the spectacle that had defined much of their youth. Meri often expressed both pride and longing when discussing her child, noting that Leon preferred privacy but remained a central part of her life. It was precisely because of this long silence and absence that their sudden reemergence in front of TLC cameras struck viewers as such a monumental event. The context of the surprise appearance is as important as the moment itself. By the time Leon resurfaced, the family had undergone seismic shifts. Kody Brown's marriages had unraveled almost entirely, with Christine first leaving him, followed by Janelle, and then Meri herself stepping away from the fractured dynamic that had dominated her adult life. Robin remained as the last legal and spiritual wife, but the family unity that had once been the premise of Sister Wives was gone. In this environment of upheaval and heartbreak, Leon's presence on screen felt like a bridge to earlier days, while also signaling a possible new direction for the show and for Meri's own journey. Fans who tuned into the episode described the moment as almost surreal. Leon appeared quietly, without the build-up or dramatic teasers that usually accompany major storylines on Sister Wives. Their appearance was understated, but powerful, a reminder that, despite the chaos surrounding Kody and his wives, the children have always been the true anchors of the series. Leon's presence next to Meri, their bond palpable even through the screen, offered a rare glimpse into a relationship that has withstood the test of time, criticism, and shifting family loyalties. To truly appreciate the weight of Leon's return, one must revisit their history on the show. Meri's struggles with fertility were a recurring storyline that left viewers heartbroken for her. While her sister wives raised large families, Meri remained a mother of one, her hopes for more children dashed despite her yearning. This made Leon's place in her life even more significant. As the only child, they bore the hopes, dreams, and, at times, the sadness of being the singular extension of Meri's motherhood. The bond between mother and child was evident from the beginning, though it was not without its complexities, given the unusual environment in which they lived. Growing up on national television is never easy, but doing so as part of a polygamous household, under scrutiny from both mainstream audiences and conservative critics, was especially challenging. Leon handled this with grace, but it was clear as the seasons went on that their future might not include reality television. By the time they reached adulthood, their appearances dwindled, and eventually they stepped away altogether. While many other Brown children, such as Mike Kelty, Maddie, and Peyton, continued to interact with fans on social media or make appearances in family updates, Leon charted a different course. That course became even clearer in recent years when Leon publicly came out, sharing their identity and embracing a life authentic to who they are. The courage with which they announced their truth resonated deeply with fans and earned them widespread admiration. Meri expressed unwavering support for her child, emphasizing love and acceptance above all else. Yet Leon's personal journey also highlighted the sharp contrasts within the Brown family, many of whom remain tied to conservative traditions and worldviews. In this way, Leon's decision to live privately and authentically was seen as both a natural evolution and a quiet rejection of the public life they had once been part of. This is what made their sudden reappearance on Sister Wives so significant. Fans recognized that Leon had every reason to stay away, to guard their privacy, and to avoid the scrutiny that comes with cameras. Yet here they were, standing alongside Meri in a moment that seemed both tender and intentional. For many, it symbolized support, a child standing with their mother as she moves through one of the most difficult chapters of her life. For others, it was a signal that Leon, though distant from the show for years, still maintains a thread of connection to the family, and perhaps to the audience that has always cared about them. The reaction from fans was immediate and emotional. Social media buzzed with excitement, surprise, and heartfelt praise. Twitter timelines filled with screenshots of Leon, accompanied by messages like, "So proud of Leon," "They look amazing," and "Meri must feel so supported right now." Reddit preds dissected every detail, from their body language to the implications of their presence for Meri's ongoing storyline. For some, Leon's return was the highlight of the season, overshadowing even the never-ending drama surrounding Kody and Robin. What made this reappearance especially moving was its contrast to Kody's fractured relationships with so many of his children. In recent seasons, viewers have watched him struggle to connect with his older children, many of whom openly expressed anger and disappointment in him. The pandemic deepened those rifts, with adult children accusing Kody of favoring Robin's household and neglecting the rest.
Against this backdrop, Leon's presence with Meri took on an even sharper significance. It highlighted the strength of maternal bonds and served as a subtle but powerful reminder that the legacy of sister wives is not just about Cody's choices, but about the resilience of the children raised in this complicated family structure. For Meri, this was undoubtedly a moment of pride. After years of feeling like the outsider in Cody's world, her connection with Leon stood out as a source of love and validation. In interviews outside of the show, she has spoken about learning to embrace independence, focusing on her own growth, and finding strength in relationships that truly matter. To have her child appear on screen beside her, especially after so many years of absence, underscored that narrative in the most personal way possible. It was not about clinging to a broken marriage or competing for Cody's attention. It was about moving forward with the support of someone who has always mattered most to her. Speculation now runs rampant about whether Leon's appearance was a one-time event or a sign of more to come. Some fans believe this could mark the beginning of a new chapter for Sister Wives, one that shifts focus from Cody's imploding marriages to the perspectives of the adult children. With the wives now largely separated and pursuing independent lives, the future of the show has been in question. Bringing the next generation into the narrative could breathe fresh energy into the series, offering fans insight into how the children of polygamy view their upbringing and their parents' choices. Leon's return could serve as the opening act to this evolution. Still, others caution against expecting too much. Leon has made it clear that they value privacy and may not wish to become a regular fixture of the series again. Their surprise appearance may have been more about supporting Meri than signaling any broader involvement, but even if that is the case, the impact of their reemergence cannot be understated. It reminded fans why they became invested in the Brown family in the first place, not for the spectacle of polygamy, but for the raw, real, and often messy stories of individuals trying to find love, belonging, and identity in unconventional circumstances. The emotional resonance of this moment also lies in the way it reframes Meri's story. For years, she has been portrayed as the loneliest of Cody's wives, caught in a marriage that offered little affection and even less respect. She endured humiliation during the infamous catfishing scandal and spent season after season clinging to hope for a relationship that seemed perpetually out of reach. Now, with Cody largely in her past, Meri has the opportunity to redefine her narrative, and Leon's presence is central to that redefinition. Together, they presented a picture of strength, resilience, and mutual love that stood in sharp contrast to the bitterness and isolation that has characterized so much of Meri's journey. As fans continue to buzz about Leon's reappearance, one thing has become abundantly clear. The Brown family saga is far from over. The show may have begun as an exploration of polygamy, but over the years it has transformed into a study of family, identity, and the struggle to find one's place in a world that is often unforgiving. Leon's surprise return encapsulates all of these themes.